going on there?
I got it out.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Four Horsemen podcast. This is our 4th episode. You guys know who we are, and we are coming off a pretty big hiatus because last week, or I guess almost 2 weeks ago, we were at IPF Worlds. Well, not John, but we were at IPF Worlds in Sweden, and that's going to be our first topic for today. As you guys all know, the young king, Russell Orhii, walked away with the world record total, world record squat, and the gold medal in the 83-kilo weight class. So first, we're just going to break down, I guess, the build-up into Worlds and what ended up happening there. So, Joey.
Before we get into that, how you guys been, man? You guys good? Y'all good?
Yeah.
Good?
Living life. Yeah,
Living
man.
life, know what I'm saying? Training good? You guys, everybody got back safe?
Yeah.
What?
Everybody got back safe?
Yeah, man.
You didn't lose any luggage?
So it's actually funny. I had to fly to New York first in order to fly to Sweden because there were no direct flights from DC. And like all my bags were safe flying internationally, but on the 40-minute flight from DC to New York, they lost my luggage. And I was sitting at the airport for like 3-4 hours trying to figure out where it was because they said it got loaded onto the plane, but it wasn't on the plane.
That's crazy.
It got sent to Miami, and they ended up like flying it back like an hour before my flight was supposed to take off.
So, this was my first like big international travel, and coming back, I was checking my bag because you're only allowed like 10 kilos, I guess, overhead, which is like nothing. So like my normal carry-on that goes on top, they're like, oh, it's too big. So I was like, whatever, I'll just check it. And they're just automated like check-in things. There's no people there. I mean, there is, but there's a massive line. So I go up to it and I scan my ticket or whatever, and I put my bag on this big ass conveyor belt. Yep. And as soon as I scan it, it just takes it. But my laptop was inside, so my fucking shit is gone, right? So I go around, it's just gone. Like literally, my laptop is gone now. And I'm like, damn, they're gonna throw that shit and smash it. So I go around to the front, like on my gate, and I tell the lady, I'm like, hey, I need to get my laptop out of my bag before it gets on the plane. So like literally right as like I'm looking out the window and I see all the guys just like fucking launching luggage like into the bins. Somebody goes down there and talks to the dude, and then like 2 cops come up, and like the lady calls me, and then they're like, come with them, like go with them, and then I'm like, I'm gonna die, and then I just go with them, and they give me I open my bag like on the cart, I get my thing. And then they just walked me back up, and then I was good. And I was just like, damn, I did not think I was gonna get my laptop, but it ended up working out. So
I thought you were gonna say that you saw through the window like a slow-mo scene in a movie. They just had your bag by the strap.
Just throw that shit.
That would have been a long fucking
Fuck
flight.
this guy's bag.
Fuck, man. I mean, I never had dealt with. Have you guys ever dealt with a check-in thing like that, where it just like you scan it and then that shit just starts rolling in your belt?
Yeah, they have it in Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never checked bags.
Every airport, every airline is different. Like, there are some that do shit like that. There's some where you got to bring it over to some people to put it onto the plane. I don't know.
Did you guys have trouble getting the flight that was going to take me directly from Stockholm to LA? I had to show my passport like 15 times, and we had to go. There was like so many different areas that we had to go through, and then I was in like a holding tank with like a bunch of like. I'm like, all right, we're supposed to board in like 10 minutes, and fucking this line is massive because they're checking everybody's security, and I'm like, there's no way we're gonna get there on time, and it was just such a fucking pain in the ass. I fell asleep on the floor. I literally fell asleep right there, and then some guy like hit me and was like, yo, like it's time to go, and I was like, oh fuck.
My flight process is easy as hell.
Yeah, dude, my shit was painless, man. Like, I've flown internationally, like, you know, all growing up, my family would go on vacations, and it felt like I would be in the airport forever. But this trip, I felt like everything was, like, so streamlined. Like, I felt like I was not at customs long. I felt like I was, you know, despite traveling internationally, I felt like everything moved really quickly.
All right, well, glad everybody got back and no one lost anything.
Speaking of losing stuff, can we talk about how dumb people are that they like I would always put all my lifting gear in my checked bag.
You had the whole
not checked my
Carry on.
Carry on.
Yeah.
It happens every year. Every year someone loses their bag and someone will make an Instagram post like, hey, assholes, don't like put your fucking lifting gear in your luggage.
Like it's not that much stuff. Just have it in a backpack.
I was thinking about it, and
Belt, that's it.
Yeah.
I put my shit in my check bag.
if you lose your check bag though, if you lose your check bag and it's got like hella clothes in there, that might be harder to get than like I would literally just go. I would just go up to SPD, which is right there, and be like, "Yo, I need sleeves, a belt, fucking
like,
socks, and all that."
Like, if I'm going to meet and there's fucking vendors there, if I lose my shit, I just be like, "Yo, I'm not gonna lie, like I need a belt, I need knee sleeves, I need wraps." I'll just buy it. Like I'm just.
Yeah,
I don't want to have
they might help you out. They might help you out, and then they might charge you. But
to be broken in again, like it feels.
Yeah.
Nah, I mean, you could give me a brand new SPD belt, and I'll be fine.
I guess the belt is like the biggest one for me. Like I would want fresh knee sleeves.
Yeah.
Wrist straps don't really matter.
Shit, I'm gonna lose my knee sleeves on purpose then next time.
Yeah.
I'm actually I was thinking about that. Everybody's just gonna do that, but I was thinking about this. Russ. So I know my demeanor, and I feel like your demeanor and your mindset coming in was kind of how we were, just like hanging out, the Tuesday when I got there. But for this Worlds, if I felt like you came in with way less pressure, and because like we had done this a million times, it's just another meet. All we got to do, like you had your best training ever. All you had to do is like simply lift. You know what I mean? Like, did you feel pretty chill coming in, or were you low key like fuck?
I was chilling.
Right? Like it felt.
I wasn't worried about anything. I was just like, good. That's like I don't know, this whole training session or this whole training, the prep leading up to it, I was very like disconnected from any type of like pressure. It was just more so just get through training and have fun, and then whatever happens on meet day happens.
I think if you can, anybody watching this, if anyone can eliminate whatever kind of pressure there is coming into any meet to the point where they could just kind of do what they're supposed to do. Like you were so focused to the point where we had kept saying like depth is going to be crazy, you better not fuck up, whatever. Although we ended up getting a really good session. Like, some people, they get so riled up, they're so in the moment, they completely forget that and they just do their normal squat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you were actually conscious enough to like, all right, this is a world record squat. I mean, you got a world record on your second, but you're like, I really need this squat. I'm gonna fucking bury the shit out of it. Like you were aware enough in that moment to like remember to do that. Whereas, I mean, we're screaming at you, bury it and shit like that. But like most people, when they're nervous, they forget everything. They forget the circumstance, they forget the context, and they just like go back to whatever they did before. Maybe they had a bad habit they changed recently. They just forget everything. So yeah. I mean we went with Danny to eat. We're all chilling, and Wednesday was very we slept all day, and your weight was good, and you're actually like 5 pounds over, pretty close to the meet, which I prefer. And then you just sweat. It was weird. Like he checked in with me and he was like, I forgot how heavy you were. It was like 3 pounds or something. But we had 9 hours left. And I was like, oh, you're good. Just like go back to sleep and
just exist.
Yeah. But literally I checked on him like 6 hours later and like nothing happened. Like his weight didn't.
I fell asleep and like literally my weight didn't change. I was like, oh shit, time to sauna. So whatever.
Yeah, he saunaed it, which is fine. And then, I think we did the rehydrate really good. And we had minimal things there. Like we didn't have I had the Trioral and I had bought like 3 Powerades and like everything was pretty straight.
3 fun size Powerades.
They were very small.
I think that protocol was perfect. Like the post-win shit, because like I didn't do too much. Like I didn't spill over. Like
it was one Trioral. It was the 3 Powerades, and then it was just water. He had a banana. I gave you some Skittles. We had juice. We didn't have didn't have a juice. There was a mango juice or whatever. I didn't recognize any of the brands. I just saw fruit on it, and I was like in a carton, and I was like, all right, this is probably.
Wait, can we reverse a little bit? Can we talk about like the judging, like the just like depth calls? And
I'm glad you said that.
So
I'm trying to make a comment
like before his day. Yeah, it was crazy the first day.
I feel like there was like some sessions where like one ref would not give a single white light, and it's just like
So that was the red-headed German lady. She was one of the side judges for a couple of the sessions. She was red lighting everybody.
Did y'all see where the judges were sitting, like during squats?
No, where were they?
Hey, John,
It
literally
was just in the front.
3 head judges, like
It was 3 front judges, but dude, like they were so far away from the platform. Like they were not close at all.
they had to have been like, I shit you not, like 15 feet away from the platform.
So, Gaston was at this meet, and I remember at the Arnold a couple years ago, like there was this one judge from I think the Caribbean or some shit.
Oh my god,
he was crazy, right?
I remember that.
But Gaston pulled him aside and was like, "Yo, what are you doing? Fix your shit." So because Russ was going later, I thought, well, you know, this is the most prominent complaint that I'm hearing. It probably got to him, and he's probably going to tell her something. So, you know, I think by the time Russ was good, but it was for the girls that lady was back. I think by then she was probably talked to, and like you're supposed to, if it's on the line, like kind of you're not sure, you give it to the lifter. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
But here it was just like
it's the opposite.
If it's iffy, they're like, nope, you ain't getting that shit. So I mean,
I was shocked. Like there are some people that like clearly they hit depth. I'm like, that's depth. Just all reds. I was like, bam.
Get that shit out of here.
I was like,
You know what it is? So apparently this is why I like the one thing that I'll say about like the USPA that I really like is like if you watch the meets, the judges are out of the chair like as close to the lifter as possible to judge depth usually.
I feel like I've seen that at local meets.
Some of our locals are like that. They're literally on the floor like all fours.
go out of the way. They're like,
Well, that's what it should. But here's the thing. In the IPF, it's actually a rule that the judges cannot leave the chair because it looks unprofessional.
Oh, well, that's dumb.
Shit, then I might as well not be there because I'm just fucking running around doing flips.
even
Yeah.
even where
I can't believe they got rid of Gino.
the way that the judges were positioned to see depth, it was like there weren't even side judges. It was just
You
like
can't see. Yeah.
I'm like I remember when I came to the venue because I always just like before me I check out like how it's being judged and like what are they looking for, and I was like they're all sitting right there, like they're all like it was like one, so you have one judge right here, and you have another judge right here, and another judge right here. I'm like fam, there's no side judges, it's all just like right there. That I don't know, it was really interesting. I've never seen that before.
That happens at Worlds a lot. Like you'll end up, you know, the rule book doesn't say that they have to be directly on the side. The rule book literally says like essentially wherever the judges see fit for them to be.
Here's the thing though, if you sit right on the side and you have like 15 spotters, I mean, it's fucking hard. You can't see anything, you know. So maybe that's why they're there. It's just like at the Arnold. I remember looking at my tape and like my judge was like literally like the smallest part of their ass was on the bench and they were like leaning the fuck over to kind of see, you know, if I was getting down there or not. But I mean,
judge, you're supposed to be determining whether or not a lift is good, like accurately. That's like.
Do we need 6 spotters though?
I mean,
Ray, you do
the 5.
6. Yeah,
I mean, with Ray, it's like, I mean, that's different. But he's kind of big too, so they might be able to see.
I think you do. I mean, like, look at what happened a couple of years ago.
I think you need them.
Even like when that dude before me, like he squatted. I don't know how much he squatted, but he like
he dumped it.
Yeah. Bro, that's the thing. Like it's, you know, if
you know how to fail, it's not like you probably need like 1 spotter, but like if you fuck up, get hurt, and you're you don't want 5.
Like when you're grinding and miss a squat like that, like you don't need 5 spotters, but like when something goes wrong and you only have 2 people, like you're fucked.
No, I mean you would need at least, I think 3 is like minimum. But with Ray, I mean fuck, dude, you never know. That shit's.
I mean, even with 5, they could barely. See that.
I mean, it's a lot of weight.
I feel like they did a good job with that. I mean,
one of the things I hate the most were. I get it, like I get where people were coming from, but I hated how people were just like, "Oh, you guys know what you got into. This is IPF depth, man. IPF depth, like
it's the same. It's honestly the same. It's supposed to be the same everywhere. It's literally supposed to be the same everywhere."
Well, I didn't like. It's like I feel like I truly feel like the early lifters, like the people that had those judges that weren't like talked to at first, I feel like they got fucked. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I mean, that's so unfortunate when that happens. Like, that's literally the one thing I didn't like coming into the meet. I was like, everything that we're gonna do, I'm good with. It's just I don't know what is gonna happen out there. And I just remember
they were making adjustments as well. They were like, okay, I missed my first. Like, okay, I'm gonna squat deeper, and like they made it pretty much undeniable, and they still got red. I'm just like, hey man,
I remember,
and I feel like the only people, the only people I saw like on social media making claims like that, like it's the IPF, it needs to be convincingly deep, like you guys know what standard you need to lift to. I feel like I was seeing those comments and getting those messages from like random ass like European lifters who aren't even at Worlds.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I remember Canada has some judging that's crazy on like bench. I remember like recently.
The long pump,
Fuck, like absurd, like so if you're one of those people that can't, like you do a soft touch and you can't really hold it that long, you're done. Like you're just gonna like lose it and collapse. But I mean, it was I just remember like with Tina, I remember because I know my lifters, right? So I look at my lifter and I'm like, oh, she's good. Like that's good for her. That's passed many times before. But then they get reds and it's just like, you feel so helpless. Like there's nothing, I can't do anything. What am I going to do? Tell him like, that's as low as he's literally physically going to go. Like, what am I going to do? And you just feel like it's just fucking travesty because they work so hard. They're constantly thinking about it. It's always in their head. And then, they hit a squat and in their moment, they're confident, like, yo, I got this. And then fucking 3 reds. And it's just like, it makes you not even want to, it makes them not even want to do it. And it's hard. I mean, if you're an emotional lifter, it's going to fuck you up. So, I mean, it's unfortunate, but it did get better as the week went on. I mean, the rest of the session was fine. I didn't have any concern.
They definitely made that change during our session. Like in the 83 session, they definitely decided, okay, we're gonna be. We're gonna.
I mean, they were good. Some people were talking shit about like Gibbs getting the like his our elbows weren't locked, but I mean, I was looking at the tape. No. The first one, I was looking at the video, and from my honest perspective, I was like, in my mind, I'm like, oh, I wouldn't be surprised if they just hold him there. And then the guy told him to re-rack it and do it again. So, I mean, the second time, it looked a little bit straighter, but I mean, everybody's arms are different. Some people's arms are going to look bent when they're straight. So, as long as there's some effort that he is trying to be straighter than he was, I mean, you got to kind of give it to him, just give him the start command. But, I mean, if he didn't get that bench, that would have been bad.
I mean, dude, I've watched his lifting for a while. Like, his elbows are always like that. Like, I don't think he just, that's how his arms lock out. Like when I saw him,
I feel like I have the same thing. Like when I like on rack, I have like a slight bend in my arm, but like when I lock out, it's.
They're not supposed to give it to you unless. But they won't even. For some people, they don't even know. They're like, oh, he's straight, I guess.
That's what I'm saying with Gibbs. Like even when he locks out, his arms lock back out to that same like soft looking position.
Yeah.
And when they gave, on his second attempt when he came back out and they gave it to him, to me it looked exactly the same.
The second try of the 210.
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely looked a little bit straighter. I was surprised. I was fucking shocked the second time. But what was surprising to me was like on a second attempt bench, right? And let me put myself in his shoes. Second attempt for me was like 210. Okay, 210. If I unrack 210 and they tell me to rack it and then unrack it, I mean, I get handoffs. I don't know if he gets handoffs, but like I feel like I want to get stapled. I wouldn't like not move it. I could probably get it, but it'll be hard, So the fact that it was as hard as it was when he did get it makes me feel like unless the timings were like perfect, like as soon as he got it start, as soon as he hit his chest press, then I don't think he had much more. I think maybe he had 215, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But
I would guess he was probably around like 215, maybe.
Like with perfect timings and everything, but there was no, I
think as a lifter though, like. When your routine is fucked up, it just
that would mentally fuck me up, honestly.
Yeah.
The worst is
plus you're stressed because he only had like 10 seconds to like reset up and shit.
Especially though with the bench because it's the only lift that has like an external cue as a part of the lift, right? Like nobody's telling you to squat when you squat, but like you have to wait audibly for like a voice to tell you to press, right? So like when you add the fatigue of like unracking and re-racking and then having to take in that like external
shit, man.
I mean, it's also a lot easier to just stand there with the squat than it is to like I don't know, holding a bench is like way harder for me.
No, but what I'm saying is just like in terms of producing force, right? Like it's a lot easier to do if you're giving yourself the press command in your head than if you have to hear it from someone else. So that probably made it, a little bit more difficult. But I wanted to make this comment about judging because, like, just to kind of argue on the other side of things, like in what's up?
I'm sorry.
In professional sports, right? A characteristic that a lot of people will commend a great athlete is their ability to make adjustments, right? If you're like a major league pitcher and the strike zone is small, right? Like nobody at the end of the game is saying the umpire was like, really, really strict on strike calls. A great pitcher will make the adjustments and make good pitches. Like Russ knew, even though the judging was fair on his day, he came into the session like, okay, yeah, they're going to be really strict on depth. I'm going to make the adjustment. I feel like a lot of powerlifters, just because the culture is a little different than other sports. A lot of people will complain that the judging was super strict and I couldn't hit depth. It's like, yeah, the judging is strict, but like really good athletes come out and make adjustments, and those adjustments aren't always within like your comfort zone, right?
As long as
powerlifters. A lot of great ones come from sports, so they they don't complain. But a lot of them is just regular people that want to do something competitive, and they don't have those kind of morals, and they haven't learned through adversity and things like that, and they don't understand it. So it's more characteristic of them to complain when at the end of the day, I mean, it's very. I think the amount of malicious judges that exist is vastly like maybe overly portrayed than the amount of like good judges there are. I think at the end of the day, most judges are just trying to do their job, trying to get back. They just want to do their they just want to run a good meet. That's it. So
and that's the thing. Everybody's subject to the same judging. 99.9% of the time. So the athletes who make the adjustments are the ones who make the lifts, and they're the ones who are going to win. So it's like that is part of being a good athlete. It's not just who is potentially the strongest, who could have squatted the most that day.
Yeah,
I think you have to make a decision. Like for me, like I had that luxury of being able to watch the prior sessions. I'm like, okay, this is an adjustment that I'm gonna have to make. Either I'm gonna squat the way I normally do in training and then complain about it after once I bomb out, or I'm gonna fucking make an adjustment, take some weight off the bar, and make sure that I hit undeniable depth. And I just feel like some people, they're willing to just be like, I'm gonna squat the way I squat, and I'll just complain about these L's I'm about to take. Like they'll literally be like, "Oh, it wasn't my fault though. It wasn't my fault. Like it was the judge judging." Like as an athlete, you have to be able to take accountability, and you have to know like.
I actually truly I hate that mindset.
You have to be able to be like, all right, like obviously the judges are on one right now, but you have to make a decision. It's like, I'm just gonna have to do what I gotta do in order to get those whites. Like you're at the mercy of what the judge deems depth. So like either you're gonna complain about not hitting depth, or you're going to hit depth and have something to fucking talk about after.
You gotta play the game. I mean, that's it, right? Like watching you squat to that depth, like I could tell when I was back there watching you warm up, like I could tell it was forced, right? Like that was not a comfortable position.
I'm pushing my shit in there.
I mean, it was a lot of weight. I mean, it was also a lot of weight too, so that's gonna help.
Yeah.
I mean,
even watching the warm ups in the back room, I'm like, I know it was forced for you to get down there, but it's a conscious decision you make, and being able to make a conscious decision, because that's the thing, right? Like when we lift on the platform, all of those movements are pretty much like instinctual, like we're not thinking about it, right? So to be able to think and add that adjustment that might be uncomfortable for you and still perform, right? That's what separates you in sports in general.
While we're on it, we could talk about the reason why we changed the singlet. He had always used the black one in training. I like the Titan just because it definitely feels like, compared to the SBD, it wants to maintain its form better. Like when I sit down in it, it wants to stand me up. I don't know if you guys could take from that what you want, but I really, it's minimal. It's like
There's definitely a difference between the SBD and the Titan.
The stretchiness of it. Also, my whole mindset was I would rather, the way Russ squats is, he's not at depth very long. He's not like, a taco squatter that's going to take forever to barely get down to depth, but you can really see it, and then they come back up. Russ is like, if he's going to be in the hole for like a millisecond and he's going to stand up. So my mindset was like, give him what he's comfortable with, and through like the singlet is all black, so if there's any doubt, if they're unsure, they're supposed to give it to him. So it's like, I'd rather play that card than that SBD singlet. It's like very clothy. It's kind of bunching up. I mean, you can see the outline of the underwear underneath. So that kind of, and then the singlet kind of bunches up around the fold, and it just makes it a seam. I remember going through this with Jesse in 2016, and I was just like, I didn't like the singlet that he had because it was so clothy, and it just was bunching up so much there. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Get that shit off. Let's put on the Titan, and the Titan's going to pull it down and just make it, make it look as undeniable as possible. And it ended up working out. So regardless of like what people might think, oh, maybe it would have been better the other way. If they had a red singlet, like a red Titan singlet, I mean, that might have been the best option because it's going to pull that crease down and it's super like tight. You know what I mean? Like it's stretchy, right? It's like a superhero outfit. It wants to like form to the person, whereas the SBD one, it's kind of, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a t-shirt.
It's just a softer material.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Very, very thin.
That's why we ended up doing that. But I mean, it worked out. Bench was pretty routine, and then deadlifts. Russ was strong. I knew what he had done in the gym, and I was like, even if I shave 40 pounds off that, we're still good. You know what I mean? He's still gonna have a lot. So, and then it's kind of interesting, like seeing them both pull and just knowing who's stronger, and then just having that little advantage is just like, oh, it's I mentally was like, we're good. And Russ held it, and perfect 9 for 9 day. Which brings me to, like, well, first off, how did you feel? Like, I mean, obviously you went nuts, but, like, when you won, like, how did it feel to, like, yo, I'm a fucking champ? Like, has it hit you yet?
Not really. Like, to be honest with you.
Right? Because we're always, my dad was talking.
It's almost like this is, like, step one. Like, it was cool. Like, it was cool for, I don't know, it just hasn't really hit me, to be honest with you.
My dad was telling me.
Like other shit, like
he was telling me like, how do you feel? You should be proud, da-da-da. And I was just like, I mean, like, I'm really proud of what we did. I'm proud of everyone, but there's so much work to do. There's like, I feel like we haven't done shit. Like, we have done shit. We have done a lot, but it's like, I feel like there's so much more to do. There's so much like higher we could push the limit, and just like other things that I'm thinking about. It was just like, and the stuff I had going on outside the gym, it was just like, there's so much more that I want to work towards. And it's great that we got this, but if we just get super complacent and fucking take months off, that's how somebody catches you. That's literally like, if you take 12 months and you have two lifters that are very closely matched, and lifter A, misses a total of 30 days, right? They miss a total of 30 days throughout that entire year. And lifter B misses like fucking 5, right? And both of them don't get hurt. That other lifter is gonna have gotten a benefit. You know what I mean? The one that put in the more days consecutively. Everything adds up, Mm-hmm. So, and Russ worked all year. Like, he didn't slow down, and but I don't think you were really mentally drained. You just seem the way that we like, you enjoy. It seems to me like you enjoy training. You enjoy what you're doing. You enjoy life.
You get your ass whooped.
Exactly. Dude, I was telling people we got slapped, but we came back.
You get slapped. There's no mental breaks, man.
But you should. Dude, here's the thing, too. Like, you knew you were hurt, or you were just coming off of being hurt. You knew you weren't yourself.
I feel you.
But you followed through. And you showed up anyway, and you're like, yo, this is me. I'm not going to be one of those people that just, like, I didn't have an immaculate prep, I'm not doing anything. No, you showed up. You were there. You still took fucking second. That other guy who was there this time, it was actually very surprising, because last year, if he would have got his squat, he would have been like a problem. But he did it, and this year he was just way weaker. So I don't know.
We're talking about
the Algerian.
Yeah.
Like, last year he was a threat. Like, he was a legitimate threat.
I thought he was a 93 last year.
He did better
No.
than this year.
No.
Yes, he did.
I remember he blew up like 660 something,
Bro,
and then like said he
He
was
smashed a crazy big
Joey.
squat.
Are
Joey.
you talking about Fatah or whatever?
Yeah, Joey. He
He was
totaled.
a 93.
No.
No.
This dude totaled 797.5 this year. If he did that last year, Russ would have taken third. He got stronger this year.
Dude, I feel like he would. But I remember thinking if he would have got that squat, I was looking at the board. I'm like, if he would have got that squat, they we're fucked.
Yeah.
Last year, this year. I mean, that's what I'm saying. He didn't get that squat, and he wasn't even close to that like strength this time. So I don't know.
All around this year.
well. I guess.
I mean, he executed better for sure.
Shifted like he progressed, but I guess like we took it to a different level.
I also remember him being way bigger for some reason. I thought he was like huge last year. This year he just
blew up that squat. I was like,
oh.
It's so 3 reps. I was like, oh, fuck.
Those guys are hype, dude. Those Algerian dudes are fucking. They're lit. They're just like crazy.
Guy's a monster. He's like.
I want to talk about the Danny Mello Amanda Lawrence matchup.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to like see what like went down exactly, because you guys were pretty heated in the group chat.
We did, but I brought something up, and like no one ever. Also, I was looking at the tape that White Lights Media made. Like they made a nice video where they have them both going back to back with the scores. I did not realize coming into Deads they were like. I remember Bill telling me that Danny is 6.5. You know, Danny is 6.5 like up. Like she's 6.5. Or no, Amanda needs to pull 6.5 up. But I'm watching the video and I'm like, dude, they're way closer. They're like way closer than that. I don't know. There was literally like 2 keys away. Maybe.
No, it was 6.5.
That's what I thought. So
It was
6.5.
That's what I thought, but I'll show you the video, the subtotals like leading in. I guess it didn't count deads yet, whatever their opener deads were at. But it was like they were way closer than what I thought. I'll send you the video and you can see what I'm talking about because they have the totals as they're hitting their lifts in the corner, the top right. But so I mean, Sean, we could just talk about squats. Like I mean, so coming into it, Arian, which is the head coach for USA, was really paranoid about Amanda's squats, and he was really paranoid about her lifts in general, because like historically she had just not executed. She's just gone like 449, 549, 649, whatever. It's different now. I'm here. I've been like drilling her constantly on her technique, constantly on her about everything, like literally everything, every single day since she started with me, we talked. And I was just like, you know, it was almost like when you get a wild horse and you have to break them because they have these, you know, they're just very stubborn and but she was very open-minded, and it was a little hard for her at first to get it, but she got it, and we changed all her technique. She got on kilos, you know, she disconnected her mind from whatever she had done on pounds. That's gone now. She's not doing that. And everything she's hitting in the gym now on kgs is gonna
just quick, I'll say she did a pretty good job adjusting. Like I feel like every single week I could tell you were telling her something and then you just like get it. It's like, yo, I need you to train on kilos. Boom. Next week she got kilos. Yo, next week I need you to do this.
Control
Boom.
your squat. Boom. Hold your deadlifts. Like her grip.
I mean, my crib is laughing. I'm like, God damn. Like
she's one of those people that if you say something about her, if somebody says something, because there's a lot of people that were talking on the internet, and someone says something about her grip, said she was just like, I'm not dropping anything ever. I'm never dropping anything. So she would just hold, you know, that last day, I don't know if you guys saw her last training day, she pulled more than what she posted, but she held the fuck out of it. And like, I knew that her grip was going to be on point. So props to her for that. But anyway, coming in a squat, Arian wanted to lower all their numbers because of what she had done historically. I understand the logic behind looking at somebody's past and kind of predicting what they're going to do in the future. But I mean, when I think about it, it's hard for me to say to any third, like, you know, objective entity, hey, disregard everything you know about her because I'm here now. I mean, most people in that position are going to be like, I know that you're great and this and that, but like, I can't, like, I'm not going to disregard what she's done in the past. So we lowered, I think both of their numbers were a little bit, I think Amanda's opener squat was fine, what she wanted. But Amanda, I wanted to open much higher. But I mean, I knew we were going to have that lady. So I was like, might as well just get one and then we'll jump 15. And then I think for Daniela, she did the same thing. Did she jump 15 or 12?
We jumped 12 after the opener.
Yeah, I mean, she could have gone 15 with Danny. I think if the jumps were closer, I mean, it's interesting. 12 isn't that big a jump. Maybe for her it's big, but she started to come to life more.
Yeah.
Like as the meet went on, and
I think for her, for squats, it's definitely more of a mental thing. I think almost every meet that I've been present for, her third moves way better than you forecast watching her second, and she's like, I just can't get myself as hyped up for a second as a third.
You see, but at was it Arnold? I punched it and she missed. So that's why I was like, fuck. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, for the Arnold, she was just, she was coming off that long break, so I don't think there's as much intensity there. But like, her second squat was, I think it was like 496, and it looked okay, but nothing great. So we were just like, we could jump 7, but if for some reason something goes wrong,
can't miss at all in these situations.
Yeah,
so
that's the thing about Worlds. For those of you guys watching, it's like PRs are great, but like, if you're looking to win, you have to make every lift that you possibly can. And after seeing her second, we were like, 7's pushing it. Might be there, but 5 for sure. We'll keep her in the mix. And then she hit her third, and she probably had 5 keys more on top of that third. So it was like, shit.
Yeah. I mean, it's Danny. If my memory serves me right, I've seen her like grind lifts. Like grind a second and then hit a third that's much easier than a second, like many times. It almost reminds me of a high bar squatter that like, they can take the same lift twice and like smash it on one and they literally can't move it on the second one. So that's Danny. And then with Amanda, I think we jumped 15. And then I don't remember what our jump was after. I think it was 7 with the chip.
I think it was 5.
I think it was 5. No. It was
It was like 243 to 248.
Something like that. And she ended up missing it on depth. I mean, when I remember watching it and I was like, wow, that was like way easier than your second. So I could see like maybe you cut it a little, but then I watched it on video and it was like much harder for me to decide. Like, I couldn't really tell. Just like, I mean, fuck, they thought it was high. So, I mean, what are we going to do? I mean, and then Arian like looked at the jury and then they kind of like just gave him the nod, like, no. Like it was high enough to where they thought it was high. So moving into bench, both the girls did great. Danny hit 302, I believe.
Yep, 302. So,
I don't. Shit. What is the number is actually the next number up on my mind. I was thinking, okay, we go for 303, but we add the chip over it. That's 304 basically is what I wanted to go for. I mean, I think it would have been either one would have been fine. I don't know if it would have mattered, honestly. But I mean, she got it. It was good. Amanda hit a 7.5 kilo bench PR with 260, which was like only 5 pounds under like what I really thought like perfect day what she was gonna hit. So that's really good there.
Mm-hmm.
And then coming into deads, Daniela's up by 6.5, and Amanda is obviously down by 6.5, but Amanda's lighter. Now, what we were all arguing about in the back, all 4 of us, was
the first argument. There's the first argument. So this was kind of where things got all dicey because like we're both
really quickly before we even got to deads, Daniela's opener I think was higher than Amanda's.
This is what I was about to get into. That's not correct. It was lower. So the first argument that I was going to mention was, the thing about powerlifting meets, right, is that with deadlifts, you have the opportunity to change thirds, right? So going into deadlifts, you also have the opportunity to change your opener once. And the reason this was such a tricky situation was that not only were they both neck and neck in total, right? Daniela was ahead, but they eventually finished with the same total. But not only were they super close, but every deadlift was a world record. So now when you add the fact that you can literally jump by 0.5, it's no longer just who's the strongest. It's literally like you can play some strategy and just fuck over the other lifter. So going into deads, you can change your opener. And originally, Amanda's opener was set 1 kilo higher than Daniela's. So last minute, what we decided to do was we decided to change Daniela's opener to be, I think Amanda's was 231. We changed Daniela's to 231.5. And the whole argument in the back was like, oh, well, we think, Amanda might have more on the deadlifts on the day. It's like, who do we have open last? Who do we have open first? Obviously,
if you ask like anyone, like people DM'd me, people that I don't want to reveal that are kind of important, and they're all like Amanda is stronger deadlifter, like for sure that day. There's like no argument about it, which is always going to be a threat to Danny. But go ahead, like so we put Danny first. Danny pulls hers.
No, we didn't.
So what happened?
Daniela pulled last. So what we did was, we were essentially sitting back there because, like, if these are two separate teams, right, one of them is going to wait till the clock's about to run out and then change their opener last minute so that they could pull last, right? So the rationale behind having Daniela do that is if she's ahead and pulls after Amanda, she could just see whatever Amanda puts in and just put in the same jump so that, you stay the 6 kilos or whatever ahead. So last minute, we changed Daniela's opener to 231.5. And the argument that Arian made to Joey was, if Amanda's stronger, then you could take your bigger jumps and you'll be able to catch up. But logically, it makes sense to have Daniela try to maintain that lead.
I think Bill had suggested to just keep Danny's lead.
Yeah, exactly. That's the reason we had Daniela pull last.
Okay, so the problem with doing that. So what ended up happening was they both pulled them. It was very obvious to me, like, if you look at Danny's second as well, like there's a little slowdown hitch action towards the middle, and I was like, man, like maybe 5.7 on top of that. Inevitably, we gave Danny a chance if she pulls her third. Now Amanda's in a really bad spot. Like she has to try to pull over that.
Amanda pull, I think, 14 kilos over her second.
Over that, right?
Yeah.
Well, it would be the 6.5 plus the whatever to equal that. But because she missed, now Amanda gets to pull something well within her range. She only has to pull the 6.5, and she has the body weight to win. Yep. What I was trying to say is, if you have Danny always go last, the problem with having Amanda hit her 3 lifts first is you are relinquishing your 6 kg lead by letting the potentially stronger lifter go first, because now you cannot change your third deadlift. You're fucked. You have to pull whatever Amanda hits. So that's making Danny's job like way fucking harder now. She has to pull like, oh well, there goes my lead. Now I gotta pull like whatever the fuck is on the bar, and you're just basically not being efficient with your lead. So I think the way that it ended up playing out, despite what Shahan had initially thought, I think this was like it was the best way to let Danny like cap out her strength. Lift the most that she could, and now Amanda has to go in, and it's crazy. Looking back, if Danny would have pulled 2 keys less, I mean, we would have been like, that's kind of a waste. But I mean, whatever. Amanda might get it. It would have been even dicier at that point. Yeah. I mean, in retrospect, it's always like, what if? It's just like, I think letting you want to stack the chips against the other person, and I think it would have been. The other way to play it is like Amanda's going to pull what she's going to pull. She's going to pull something she can pull, if she has to go first. Otherwise, she has to try to see what Danny did and go after. So either way, it was just like, I don't have any regrets looking. Part of me was like, I did my, little brief recap video. I was like really, really sad. Like, I'm really sad when one of my lifters has to be on the other end. But like looking back, I would do it 100 times over. I'm not regretting anything. I think Danny, you said that she lost balance a little and then her grip gave out. For me, it was like grip was like very obvious. You just got to get it done. Like we just had to, just had to hold that. And then now, I mean who knows? Amanda could have fucking full send it and get it. Who fucking knows? But
I mean, to be honest, like the bottom line was that, it comes down to execution. And obviously when I watch the video, I see balance and then grip. You think the opposite, but I saw her losing balance first. But the bottom line is, if you make the lift, you put the pressure on, right? She would have had to pull, I think it was 13 or 14 kilos.
It would have been a lot.
As opposed to the 6.5, right, to tie on body weight. The reason that I made the argument, that I disagree with the decision of having Daniela go first is that you don't put in your honest third attempt. You put in a bluff, right? So when you put in a bluff and the other lifter being Amanda, right? The other lifter being Amanda is behind and now has to assume the best case scenario for Daniela's top end strength. You now lock her in to pull a non-exact number, right? You have to then guess what number is going to, one, close the gap, and two, cap out or top out Daniela's top end strength.
It would just be enough to give Amanda the bare minimum to give Amanda the lead, and if we can, just enough to like add a little bit sauce on top of it to where Amanda wouldn't miss. But I mean, literally, we could just go by, all right, what's the minimum number we need to win? Now let's see if Danny executes. I mean, that's.
But see, that's my point, right? So with Daniela going first, right, you give Amanda now two options. You give Amanda the two possibilities are Daniela misses and she only jumps 6, right? Or Daniela makes and she jumps 13, 14, whatever it is, right? If you have Daniela go last, you now lock Amanda into one number, which would have certainly been higher than 6, right? You would not have only jumped that number because
it probably would have been like 8.
It would have been 8, 10, whatever it might have been, right? But you watch Daniela's second and you have to assume she's going to make her third, right? Because you're behind. Right, you're not going to assume the lifter going after you is going to miss when you put in a third attempt. So add that to the fact that, you know, Daniela historically executes very well. She executes well under pressure, right? You have to assume best case scenario for the lifter that's going last. So that's the only reason I made that argument, especially since we set it up for Daniela to open a little heavier and jump a little heavier just to stay with Amanda, right? Because if our plan was not to have her go last, then we wouldn't have had her go last on the opener in the second, right? We would have instead just opened lighter, taken whatever second we thought was fit, and then sent it.
I mean, if you think about all the mind games and just put like they're both robots and they're lifting at 100%, I think I mean, see the thing, because humans fuck up, they miss lifts, they like lose balance, and it's like
I made this argument to you in the group chat, right? It's if they're both robots and the strongest lifter wins, that only works if you can't change your third deadlift. That only works if you can't change your third deadlift. Because when lifters are this close, making attempt changes...
You can't change your third deadlift if the stronger lifter goes first, though. You're fucked now. Now you have to lift whatever's on the bar. That's what I'm saying. There were no other lifters after that. You get what I'm saying? Basically, you're putting Amanda's 9 attempts against Danny's 8 and putting Danny on the back foot like, hey, you got to get this now. Some people... I mean, if you know you're...
her on the back foot is my point. Like historically, I'll take Daniela on her back.
She's always gonna have. I mean, okay. So Amanda pulls 8. She either gets it or she. If she gets it, then I mean, it's over. It's like,
no, I'm just saying that, you know, hindsight, we know how the outcome, you know, how it played out. But I'm just saying, if we're in the moment and we're talking historically, like I'm stacking my chips on the person who's executed better in the past.
But see, I'm the X factor here because I turned Amanda to a new lifter. You get what I'm saying? I know that sounds fucking arrogant as shit, but it's literally what happened, and that's why her opening squat was like fucking 15, like 12 keys less than what I wanted it to be. I mean, it's fine. I'm cool. Arian, if you see this, I'm cool. I'm fine with it. Obviously, I agreed with you in the moment. No, I'm chilling. I don't regret anything. I told Arian he did great. I didn't feel like he was stopping me from anything. And that was awesome. I mean, like he was with Russ, he just let it like literally after Russ's second, I just turned around, I'm like, put in 7. He's like, got you. And he just put in 7.
Working with Arian and Bill is great. They've been, over the past couple of years that I've either been there as a lifter or as a coach, they've been fantastic.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm definitely, I'm probably not going to be there next time. More than likely not going to be there next time. But, like, if I ever need a hand at the Arnold or something, I don't mind hitting up Arian and be like, yo, dog, what's good? You got a hand? Like Brad. Brad was really good and useful, too. So, but yeah, man, that was that. I mean, it was pretty nutty.
I mean, I agree with Sean that, like, I think you gave up an advantage that Danny had. Yeah. But I think either way, Amanda would have won.
I don't think we like favored anyone. It was very, dude. We were literally like, I was like, yo, I want to make sure these girls have the utmost. I mean, Arian kept saying, just try to put it in their hands. Try to put it in their hands. Like, leave it up to them, And I think if Danny would have got that, now it's like you load all your fucking bullets and shoot, and hopefully she gets it. It was good, man. It was, like I said, it sucks when someone's on the back foot, but it's just like, I know how I work. Like when I'm doing this, I'm just like, okay, if I call each one to their max third and they both get it, the stronger person is gonna win, and nothing matters. Literally nothing else matters. If someone misses, then I lower it down and give them the benefit. So I see that's what you're saying. You're saying whoever misses first gets to lower down.
Yeah,
but have an easier time.
And that's why I'm saying we gave up her advantage, right? Because if Daniela's ahead and you put in a bluff, right, now you're forcing Amanda to then.
You don't want to sacrifice the. You don't want.
But you're forcing her to pick a.
Yeah, Amanda's gonna have to pick something.
Right, because if you put in a bluff and the other lifter is behind, they are then forced to put in something a little bit higher than what they're comfortable taking for a third, because they
okay, let's take it back to 2016 Worlds. I'm handling Matt Cronin, right? We're going against I think it's Kazakhstan. I'm pretty sure it was Kazakhstan.
Yep.
And I looked at this kid fucking grind his second. I mean, it wasn't a grinder, but it was hard.
It's hard.
And I was like, fuck, dude, Hail Mary, this guy's got 10 keys left. Hail Mary. So we have Matt pull to put that guy in a position.
5 keys left. That kid was toasted.
But he did it. That kid fucking did it, and we're all shook, and we're just like, fuck, man. Like, if you put it on the bar and be like, yo, you win if you get this, some shit could happen. That's what I'm saying. It's like, I don't think it was. I mean, Danny could have just pulled that. Amanda still may have been able to overpower her. But you know, if I could jump 8 with Amanda, then I mean, maybe Danny gets hyped and she doesn't have that drop problem. I don't know. It's weird, man. It's. I don't regret shit. But we can't play favorites. That's the thing. We just have to pick a ground where, you know, they both get a shot, and I think they both did. There's so many ifs that led into this moment that, like, you know, I think Nats is going to be different because I'm going to be fucking hyper aggressive on Amanda's squats. Danny's going to be stronger. Like, I'm anticipating 5 keys on everything minimum. You know, Amanda's making basically noob gains on her bench. It's going to be really interesting. It's going to be like.
Yeah, I think I do think Daniela. You know, I'm obviously biased here, but I do think that Daniela will make a lot of progress going into nationals. In a way, I do think that it's a good thing for her the way things shook out, just because I know she's had aspirations of going down to 72, and now after, you know, losing to Amanda at Worlds, it has her like ready to really put everything into being an 84 for Raw Nationals.
Like, if she wins, right, does she just, like, check out from, like, oh, you know, I know I'm going to be in a rebuilding phase. I just got to worry about getting my weight down. I don't really care about numbers right now. Or, you know, it's weird, man. It's like, when you can win, you kind of put everything else aside and you're like, I want to win. Like, I don't really care about moving down right now. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying.
For her, after Raw Nats, I think, you know, she had taken a bunch of time off just because competing for her was just kind of like, you know, it had lost its fun, I guess. So she took the time off, came back, had to make up a ton of ground that she lost, and then was also dieting. So she put herself in a really disadvantageous position. And now I think, having lost, she's like, fuck, I'm going to make sure that I do everything right this time around.
Regardless of what happens.
That's why I said the appearance of Amanda, it was fucking amazing. Like, it's great for both lifters because it's just going to make them sharper. Like, now Danny is going to have like a new hunger for the sport.
Yeah.
Because now you have that competitor to make you sharp. So I think it's going to just bring out the best in her.
I was going to say, regardless of what happened, actually, I said this to somebody was interviewing me. I don't know who it was. They had a camera. I think maybe it was your guy, Russ. I don't know if you heard this, but they asked me like what I thought about Russ's meet going into it. And I said, regardless of what happened, I said, we're ready. We're confident. We're good to go. We're chilling. Whatever, regardless of what happens today, the weight class will be elevated. And I think with the girls, that is literally exactly, you know, what's going to happen. I know that Jessica told me she's going to stay 84 for a little bit. I don't really know what her numbers are going to be. And I think that might be interesting.
Jessica.
Butner.
From Canada.
I don't know who Jessica is.
Jessica.
Yes, you do, dude. Yes, you do.
Threaded as hell.
All the abs.
She got more abs than you, dog.
Diabetes.
She's a 72.
Yeah, you said she was gonna stay 84. What?
Yeah,
She's gonna stay. She's gonna stay big.
Oh, okay, I know that.
Wait. Sorry. So she weighs 84 in the off season and cuts down to 72, and you're saying she's gonna stay 84?
She weighs 80 in the off season, and she's saying she wants to stay up there and compete 84 instead of.
Okay, I know who she is now, but I didn't. You were talking about her like she was an 84, and I don't know who Jessica as an 84 is.
Yeah.
She's done She's done meets at an 84. I mean, I did a whole podcast with her, so I know. Obviously, I'm gonna know a little bit more about her. So I'm sorry, John. I didn't mean to take you into that dark alleyway and like throw that at you, but it's all good. We know who it is now.
Interesting, those three together. I feel like. Well, I don't know how strong she is. Like.
Well, the thing is that's pretty crazy about Jessica is she cuts 8 keys for a meet, which is insane, but retains like all of her strength.
If you're right,
fucking insulin, man.
If you're right, then I mean, she's very confident that doesn't help. But if you're right, Sean, that's not good for staying 84.
Exactly.
If you're right.
I was gonna say that she'll be able to gain. She's certainly lean enough that she has a lot of freedom to gain a lot of weight into that class. But I mean, if she's walking around 80 keys and she's performing at 72 with the same capacity she is at 80, then it's like, well, how much are you really going to gain to compete with, Danielle Adams?
Yeah. I was telling her I can't really see you losing your abs and your cuts and like being okay with that. I think
I see that too a little bit. I don't know.
Right? Like she's
like mentally, I would if I like lost my abs moving up. I'd have like a mental breakdown. Be like, no, going back down to 181.
Yeah. So I was telling her, and she's like, I mean, I don't know. I haven't tried it, so I need to see what's up. But sometimes just not cutting. Instead of like you actually get a little peak, like you actually hit more on the platform rather than kind of hitting what you hit in the gym. It kind of cancels itself out, but it'll be interesting. I know the girls
are total. Like Amanda's.
It was not close. It was not close.
It's not close. It's like set 80 kilos.
Yeah.
Wow.
Less.
It's but Jessica almost won. She almost won 72s on her first time in the Open. Almost. She got second, which is crazy.
She was only 2.5 behind Kim, so that's big.
Damn. She also told me.
I thought Isabel was gonna win.
No.
I didn't realize because her squat looked really crazy, and then she did decent in bend. I don't know, like going into deads, her like.
What do you need? Kim and she has a good bench.
See, this reminds me. Didn't Isabella try to go down to 63?
She died.
Yeah. Right. So imagine if she hadn't done that and she just kept training. Like, it might not even be close. You know what I'm saying? Everything is cumulative. Everything adds up. It's almost like you're taking everything that you've done in your fucking life before and you're adding it up to like equal a meet. You know what I'm saying? So if you all these things that you're missing out on or you're dieting down and all that stuff, it's just like. It can work against you in the end. I mean, if you diet down slowly and you maintain a lot of your strength, that's one thing. If you fucking kill yourself to try to make weight and you have no choice but to like cut carbs and cut food, I mean, you're gonna lose some progress. And it was fucking nutty that she even attempted that. But I guess
she's like tall too.
She's not. Yeah. She's like 5'7", 5'8". I remember I was in the room. She said hi to Tina. Shout out to Tina.
I mean, I looked up like.
I was like, oh shit, what's good? Hey, high five.
She looks like a good 5'7". Yo, Jessica tall, bro. She's like
tall, yeah.
5'8", 5'9".
I think she's like 5'9", maybe even.
Her height.
She's a fucking Terminator, dude.
She's crazy.
Yeah. Well, since we're talking about Canada,
boom.
I'm not trying to throw anyone under the bus, but it is an interesting thing that I wanted to bring up.
Yeah, I want to talk about it. Like, as an untested lifter, I'm like kind of pissed about it.
Yeah, Kelly Brandon. So Kelly, I think we're still out there. I think, and I saw that Kelly had made a post about like I guess there was something that was, he got tested for some supplements. Now, John. Are these supplements that perhaps have a tendency to have shorter half-lives, or is this something that had been there for a while?
I don't know. I don't know half-lives.
Okay. I don't know why I asked you.
I know some SARMs. I think recently SARMs have gotten easier to test for, but I know some SARMs are kind of tougher. I've heard, what do you have, like Deca or something like that? Or D-ball? I think D-ball is supposed to be pretty quick. And with D-ball and Winstrol, and I heard those are both like,
yes,
like half.
ball is, I think, Winstrol, and that has a really short half-life.
Yeah, so they're both like sketchy.
What does that imply?
It's not
okay, like there's like, there's no way it wasn't like taken on purpose.
Well, it's not looking good for him. Like all the signs point toward him having taken something, right? Look at the timeline, right? He got tested in the beginning of March, right? He probably, I don't know exactly what happened, but this is what I'm thinking, right? He gets tested in the beginning of March. Now, when you get out of meat tested, that's usually you get your one and done, right? He's like, all right, I can get on some stuff that has a short half-life. It'll be out of me by the time I get, in meat tested at Worlds. Boom, he gets tested 3 weeks later, right? Now.
So they tested him in March, and then 3 weeks later they hit him again?
Yeah, they hit him at the end of March.
Shit, dog.
April.
And here's the thing, right? Like, his post was super vague, but for those of you who are like really active on social media, you would see that he was constantly over the years that I've seen him on social media posting about him using Canadian protein, whatever it's called. The supplement company, it's like everyone in the CPU uses it. Like it's like the optimum nutrition of Canada. Like that shit is safe as hell.
So what you're saying is more people would have got hit if it was truly that.
But
here's my thing.
But wait.
You go.
Canadian Protein released a statement that they released him as a sponsored athlete a couple months before. So he wasn't taking Canadian Protein shit anymore.
So here's my thing is that look at Darrington Wright, who failed for Austrine.
Yeah.
He got his stuff tested and proved that, hey, I actually failed because I took a tainted supplement. I mean, he took his ban, whatever, it sucks.
Wait, did it actually show up in his stuff?
Yeah,
yeah.
It was like he had he bought some vitamin D from Amazon or something like that. I think it was the vitamin D that
the fuck?
Yeah,
vitamin D was in it. The fuck?
Yeah, it was just it was a company that manufactured both of them, and that's why it ended up in there.
Some goddamn Benadryl right here, dog. Motherfucker.
She might have trend in it.
That is my biggest fear. People need to stop using that cop out though.
Yeah.
I should.
He's just oh, okay, I'll take the ban.
Think about it. I can take this. I can take this Benadryl right here, and this shit can have fucking trend in it.
I mean, probably not that because it's regulated.
Oh shit!
Fuck, man.
That's crazy, dude.
People use that. I guess I don't know, fucking lie. Oh, my shit was tainted. I'd be looking at my shit damn.
Dude, I'd be freaking out. I'd be looking if I was still natty and I popped with because of tainted supplements, I'd be suing someone's ass.
Yeah.
Dude, that's why all right, so Taupe, right? I know Ben for years. If I know damn well, I'm yo, this guy, I truly believe he believes in what he's doing. There's no fucking way he would risk some shit being in his stuff. So
if I pop, I'm fighting Ben because I took some Taupe before I got on the platform.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be going off. I'd be what the fuck is going on?
Nah, I know. I mean, we know everything that goes in your system. You gotta. That's why the only supplements I take now are people that I know. It's PR Breaker and Utopia. I know both guys. I know whose neck I'm coming for if I fuck up. You know what I'm saying?
What you mean? What you mean? Of course, obviously, I'm mad.
It was clean, dog. Obviously, that shit was gonna be clean, dog.
But I'm just
obviously, this shit's gonna be clean, dog.
I'm just kind of pissed about it because I've done a few interviews and podcasts where everyone asks me oh, do you think IPF lifters are natty? And I've been fuck yeah, I think most IPF lifters are natty. I've been there, I've talked to these guys behind closed doors, and I've been open about my drug use since I've left the IPF, and I have no reason to lie about this. And now he comes and pops as a top level IPF guy. I'm well, fuck me. Now it's back to square one.
For you, dog. You know what sucks is it blows my mind. I was reading the post and just the psychology behind it. It's I get the feeling. I mean, you guys can disagree with me. I feel like there's a little bit of like playing the victim, right? There's definitely. I feel like there's some playing the victim going on, and there's a lot of sympathy in the comments. There's a couple people, calling it out, saying, "Hey, doesn't seem right" or whatever. And it's just like, okay. Part of my brain is like, if he truly knew he was taking shit, and he's trying to like garner sympathy, even make a post, it's like, what the fuck is going on? Like in just mentally, like that is crazy to me. It is crazy to me that you will, instead of just being like, yo, I fucked up. I tried to get ahead. Yeah, I fucked up, dog. I'm sorry. Like I'm gonna pay my time. I'm gonna get out, and we're gonna make it right. Great, good, man. Hey, shit, you fucked up. Get it. Serve your time, and that's it. But, the other part of me is like, maybe he really did fucking, I don't know, maybe he fucking took some aloe vera or some shit, like put that shit on his skin and it fucking turned into a D-ball.
There was an Olympic, I forget what sport, but he failed a
Oh, he got a blowjob, right?
No.
Oh, no, I heard like some Olympian, like, he either like got a blowjob or like fucked a girl or something like that, and like, she like did cocaine.
Get him a trend real quick.
There was a guy who failed for clenbuterol, and he was saying that like his wife was using it and like they shared a blender, like making smoothies or some shit, and that's why he failed the test.
Hey, that's like when Canelo he got busted and he said it was.
He said he ate meat. He said he ate meat that had trend in it.
Yeah.
That's actually a thing.
What the fuck? Like, yo, you buy a steak?
That probably didn't happen, but that, like, the fact that there is meat that has clen in it is actually a thing.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
God, dude. This shit is crazy.
But back to Kelly. I think it's honestly strange to me that so many people's default reaction to seeing that was like, "We know you're good, man. Like, we still support you. Like, best of luck." It's like, no, dude. Like,
he cheated. Like,
you haven't failed. Like, you failed the
it's
test.
hard to believe. I mean, I honestly don't fucking know. I mean, I don't know enough about anything about this to like. It just seems like
I don't know anything about drugs really, so I'm just like.
I'm just looking at both sides. Like, yo, if you did do it, just own up to it, take the L, move on. That's it. And if you didn't do it, then shit, you gotta you gotta figure out who did and go after them.
Even if you own up to it, your 4-year ban's still just as long. It's not like if you admit to it.
Damn, it's 4 years?
Yeah.
Shit, man. Goddamn.
I think you pay fines, too. I know in Canada, they put you in the newspaper.
Bro, Canada is ruthless. Canada, dude, when Canadian lifters fail, the entire country goes in on them.
it's so funny.
I mean, shit, man. I just want... At the end of the day, we just want what's right, and, like... it's just crazy seeing shit like that happen because I would never think, dude. I've seen the guy at the Arnold many times. I never thought any of that would ever happen to someone like that. Canadian lifters are super like, by the book, and there's good. I don't know. I just don't see that happening, and now that it happened, it's just like, what the fuck. But I don't know, dude. Shit. I mean, I hope that shit gets sorted.
I mean, there's nothing to get sorted. He's gone.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Might as well just run up and do big dogs.
All right, rolling right into the next mildly controversial thing. Stefi Cohen made a post that pissed a lot of people off. Sean, do you care to refresh our memories?
All right, I got you. So Stefi made a post. It was in promotion of Hybrid's nutrition service. And she quoted a Dom Mazzetti Bro Science video. And the line was, it was like, abs are like chicks. As long as they look good, who cares if they're functional, right? So as you can imagine, in 2019, making a comment like that probably rustles some jimmies. And honestly, I didn't even know, like, I've seen the video, but I didn't pick up on it having been a quote. I think if she...
How did you know? How did you even know it was a quote? Like, how did you find out?
She told me.
Oh, shit.
But I think had she put it in quotes, it might have been a little bit better. But the comments that were, it's mind-boggling to me how people are so quick to, like, jump on just, like, the littlest thing people make and try to tear them down. Like, I saw women in the comments saying that Stefi Cohen hates women, Stefi Cohen's misogynist, sexist, trying to tear down women by making these comments. And I'm just like, really, guys? Like, if there have been because women in strength sports and powerlifting, bodybuilding, whatever it is, like there are obviously a lot fewer of them, and their voices need to be so much louder to make the same impact as it does for men. Like if there's anybody who's made an impact on like getting more women to lift and being comfortable with their bodies, whatever, it's her, right? She's like put in a ton of years into this, into growing her business.
But they throw all that shit out the window when you make a fucking joke.
Yep. And
dude, it's just a joke. It's just a joke.
Yeah.
Look at this, right? Look at that. It was fine, dude. It was fine. Like I
totally missed the post.
Tina did not. I showed Tina, and she was not like, "Oh, she hates women." She was just like, "Haha." And then I was like, "There's anything wrong?" She's like, "No, why?" And I was just like, "See, there you go. It's fine." But anyway, look at Fat Thor, right? If it was a fat chick, the world would have ended. But because it was Fat Thor, oh, it's funny. Fat guys, haha, funny.
Thor.
Dad bod Thor. You know what I mean? It's like it's cool.
Let's make mom bods a thing.
Like, what if they, like, what if mom bods?
Fucking mimosas on a Saturday morning.
You know what I mean?
What's mimosas on Sundays?
It's just like, I think people, and I was saying this to another group chat that I'm part of. A lot of people.
Whoa.
I mean, dude, Russ is in that. No. Russ is in mad group chats. What the fuck?
Hey, yo, nah, chill.
This is my only group chat.
Yeah, it's just like the zoo people. I mean, I'll add you, but you won't know anyone.
That's okay. I just want to be a part of something.
Guys, I'm adding John. No, but like, there's a joke like that. I would say it in the gym, or something similar along those lines, maybe, and like a I don't know, some sort of joke like that, and nobody would give a shit. You know what I mean? Like, we'll laugh it off, whatever. There's plenty of girls there. None of them get mad. It's just something about being on the internet, something about people taking things at face value with, like, no context behind it. Clearly, it's a joke, right? Like, when people crucify comedians, it's like, what are you doing? It's a fucking comedian. He's going to talk shit about everything. You know what I mean? Like,
bro, I feel bad for people who don't laugh at that. Like, laughing is, like, the greatest fucking thing in the world. And I can't imagine, like, being a person who, like, goes to a comedy show and they're just sitting there like this the whole time. Like,
yeah, like,
I can't believe he would say
uncalled for.
Dude, I don't know, man. I just thought, like, it was crazy how many people were losing their minds. Like, it was like a harmless. It seemed like a little, like, it was a joke. It was clearly she didn't mean it.
It was not even just a joke. It was literally not even her words.
It's all about, like, intent. Does she truly? Like you said, she's done a fuck ton of shit for women's lifting, for women in general. So for people to think that in any way, if anything, if you really think about it, what she's saying is like, like a girl could be, like outrageously good looking, and like it's gonna help her, get through certain situations. And if you look at people in life, if you look at celebrities, they're all like 90% of them are good looking, right? There's a reason for this. Humans are just, Especially Danny DeVito is literally the epitome of male fucking excellence. Right? Like, that guy's natty test is like 5 billion. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a joke. It's just a fucking joke, dude. I don't understand why people have to be. Yeah, if you could literally take anything.
Man, like, she's on. I don't get why they're fighting. I didn't read the comments. I hate, like, stupid.
I saw Sean's comment. I'm sad that because she deleted it. Because she deleted it, she is like, that now says, like, hey, if you guys get outraged at anything I do, I could just delete it. You give them power. You give them power when you do that. You have to. I think we should just be ourselves and whatever.
I get her deleting it. I mean, she is like a big enough. Like I feel like maybe not Russ, but like I feel like the three of us could kind of get away with like posting something like that. But she has like a big enough account where like
nobody's out here to hurt anyone's feelings.
Honestly, I get her deleting it.
Yeah.
Like, from a business perspective, it makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, from a business perspective.
Yeah, if you're based, if like a shit ton of women are buying your programs and like your nutrition shit, and you anger them, and then they no longer want to work with you, I would delete that. I just feel like, hey,
I mean, in general, from a business perspective, like, it totally makes sense.
Yeah.
You couldn't write this shit better. When you go and look at the comments, you like click on the person's profile. It's like their hair is all different colors. They're like a self-proclaimed cat lady. It's like, Steph, they're not.
I'm gonna go show my dogs up.
I get it, but shit.
Makes sense. There was I guess a similar, not really similar situation, but I guess like from a business perspective, there was an incident at MIT a couple years ago where a professor who had been there for years, like he was one of the most renowned physics professors in the world, it came out that he was like, you know, sexually harassing some students and non-students, and you know they stripped him of all of his honors, whatever. But then they took down all of his like educational videos on MIT's like, it's called like OpenCourseWare, which is like where they have just like all videos of lectures. So like thousands of people have watched his videos to learn, you know, physics or whatever. From like a business perspective, it was like, okay, we need to preserve our image that we care about, you know, reprimanding this person. But then it's also like, well, are you really like, are you doing a service to everybody, or are you just kind of like letting, you know, you're not helping anybody in that situation, right? Because like by removing all of those videos to like punish this guy, you end up punishing like, you know, all the people who were learning from those lecture series or whatever. I mean, it's kind of like
at the end of the day, it's like, and somebody makes a joke like that, if it offends someone, you know, and you don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, and they just really believe they just really don't want to associate you with something like that, and it's enough people, I guess you could delete it, sure. But I think it should all come down to, before you get angry at something in general, like intent. Do I truly believe that this person thinks girls are dumb? Is that what she's saying? No, I don't think that at all. I think her actions have proven and shown that she's all for girls. You know what I mean? So I don't see why people would get so angry at a joke. It was literally just a joke, and it was just crazy. You know, that it blew up to the thing that it was. She was clearly trying to be funny. You know what I mean? So, you know, you got to have a little bit tough skin to give it a pass if it's, you know, something like that.
Or take things out of context. It's Stefi fucking, how do you pronounce the last name? Cohen? Cohen. Yeah, it's fucking Stefi, man. Like, obviously she doesn't think that way, but it's a joke. But people will see it and just be like triggered by the caption alone, not look into it, not think about it, not think to post it, and just go off or whatever. So they just want to be
like Sean. I know damn well Daniela was not offended by that.
No,
she's not even a little bit.
She knows Stefi though. Like, she knows her for real.
Yeah, I mean, Daniela,
like a homie,
offended by shit like that. But yeah, they are closer. So I mean, that makes it easier to not be upset by it.
Do girls roast like that? Do girls roast each other like that and play it off? I don't know. Do girls roast each other like?
I don't know.
Hell yeah.
Do they?
Yeah.
They roast each. I don't know, man. I feel like they'll be play joking, and then they say something, and it's like, what? Did you mean that?
I've been around girls that roast the fuck out of each other, and they roast the fuck out of me. So.
And they're chilling, right? But they're cool after, is what I'm saying.
I know hella girls. They roast. They're some of the best roasters too.
No, the girls are some of the best roasters. Tina knows what to say to just make me like.
They hold on to something for like months, and then they know what gets you. It'll be like the smallest little comment, and you're just like,
Bro, I saw a skit. I forget what I was watching one time. It was like probably like SNL or some shit, talking about how girls just like they go for the head with roast. Like, it's not even a roast; it's just mean. Like, I think in the skit, like the guy was like, you know, he made some sort of like harmless roast, and the girl was like, "Your dad's an alcoholic." It's like, whoa, like what the fuck?
Fuck. Nah, man, Tina be hitting those soft spots. Fucking, I'm just like, ugh.
You got the fucking Arthur fist going.
God damn. What else we got on the list right here?
yeah, paying their players.
NCAA athletes.
Oh yeah, Russ, you actually had a good point. You said, what was it? You made number 28.
Not me. I was speaking from the like just think about, you made this number popular, and then you have like this the store selling number 28 without your name on it, and they're making profit off of that. Like, you look on the field, you look into the crowd, and you see mad 28s. You're like, damn, I ain't see none of that money.
Yeah, so basically,
None of them money.
here in California, they passed some bill. I mean, it's like in the early stages, but it's like, I guess it would allow NCAA athletes to like have agent and eventually get paid and just like basically be treated more like professionals. When historically, obviously, like you're not allowed to do none of that stuff. Didn't in the old like Madden and no, not Madden, fucking NCAA whatever, they would literally have the guy on the front, but he just like wouldn't have his. It would have his number, but it wouldn't have.
Yeah,
his
that's
name
why they don't make it anymore. Because like
I know who that is. I literally know who that is.
Yeah, they're using their likeness, and a few players like sued, and then they're like, "Well, we're just not gonna make it."
I'm conflicted over the whole thing. I think John, what you had mentioned earlier works because like, I mean, I look at things from the perspective of like, right, the Zions of the NCAA. Like, yes, they deserve to see money from their presence, the fact that they exist, right, is making so many other people money. And ultimately, somebody like Zion, right, is going to, end up getting, drafted, right? Like, people like that are going to become professional, professional athletes one day. Like, they need to be seeing money because ultimately they're making money for companies. They're making money for their school. But I guess the way that I see it is, right, like your repayment, right, if you're going D1 in any sport, right, like your repayment for just being there, right, is the fact that you get to go to school for free, right, the fact that you get special treatment academically, right, because a lot of D1 athletes are, there are exceptions made for them in the classroom, there are exceptions made for them for missing class, there's a lot of catering to them for the fact that they play a sport that allows them to graduate, right, if they stay all 4 years. Now, what John had mentioned when we were talking about this earlier is like, I think absolutely that there should be sponsorships. Like, you should be allowed to take a sponsorship if you're a college athlete, right? Because if you're getting offered a sponsorship, you're not the kid riding the bench, right? You're not the sixth man. You're not, you're playing. You're the reason that the seats are filled at the stadium. You're selling jerseys, right? Like, you are a huge.
Do they sell like they sell college like jerseys with the actual name of the player on it?
I think you can get it. Yeah.
I think you can have it like custom to that, but I think they just sell the.
Well, if Zion fucking sells 1 million of his number jerseys, right? Clearly, he's being impactful. So somebody needs to go to him. But hey, why don't we just put your fucking name on it, and we will give you a cut. We'll give you X%.
Yeah.
And you know what's wrong with that? They still make all their money from TV. They still make all their money from all the other bullshit that they do, selling tickets or whatever.
I think, man.
They just get a check.
Bro, you get his check from everything. If you're making money from it, cut them a check, man. So I agree with you and John in terms of like they should be allowed to get a sponsorship, and I think the school should be fucking paying them too. That's not an even trade-off. Yeah. Their tuition, how much it cost? Like, what is it? Probably like I don't even know.
USC is like dumb expensive. So I mean,
expensive, man. Get two.
Yeah, but I mean it's like 30 to 50K a year.
Yeah.
Salary basically.
I feel like huh?
It ends up being a fifth or a $250,000 for your 4 years.
For all of it, yeah.
I feel the football teams, like the teams,
that's really.
You can't give everyone a salary, man. That's what I'm saying.
With like a football team that has like
maybe like a base.
Look.
Your base is going to school.
Athletes already get like a stipend, right? I just feel like stipend should be increased a little bit more, and then they're open to profit off their name. They're open to get not jobs, but the sponsorships and shit like that. I just feel like it should be higher. College athletes already get like money, just like
Reggie Bush got a fucking house. And
but I mean like football and basketball basically have to pay for all their sports to like get paid. Because like I'm pretty sure like most like girls sports aren't profitable compared to like college football, basketball, and baseball, maybe hockey, I don't know, are probably the ones that are like paying for all the other sports because of like Title IX.
Well, I'm also saying it doesn't have to be proportional. Like I feel like the big money makers. I mean, it is that's business, man. They're just going to make more money. Those athletes are going to make more money than the other athletes. Like, I'm not saying it's.
But I think like because of Title IX, they'd have to like spread that out evenly, basically.
I don't even know what that is.
No, that's correct. Yeah.
So are you telling me the volleyball players make the same amount of money as or their stipend is the same as college football players?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
College football is nuts. There's no way.
In my model, it's not about sex. It's about I'm sorry.
Football.
It's how much money they bring in, but like because it's like a public institution, I think.
Yeah. No, yeah, they have those rules in place for like anti-discrimination, whatever. So I think everyone in that regard gets treated equally. But I think just by getting into a school alone and playing a D1 sport, that is not enough for me to be convinced that you deserve a salary. I think that it needs to be. I will disagree. Bro, there are so many people who will never play. You're telling me you should pay them? They are now a part of a system that brings
help in practice.
I think that they should see somewhat part of it. Like, not as big as like the Stars, but I think they do deserve some sort of compensation.
So like a regular dude that goes to school.
I'm not saying it has to be even,
but
I believe
But I'm asking you, right? Like these kids, right? So you have somebody like, you have someone, just anybody who's going to get drafted, right? Like if they get drafted before finishing school, right? They're taking a gamble where now, you could play, you could have a great professional career, or you don't. You might get injured, right? You're taking this huge risk now where you could essentially be throwing away your quote unquote like professional academic career, right? By taking the step to get drafted and trying to make something of yourself professionally in sports, right? Those people, I totally agree. They should have the opportunity to get sponsored. They should have the opportunity to make money off of their merchandise, whatever it is.
Dude, if they sell a game and you're in it, you gotta get something. I don't know, dude. That's crazy to me. There
was like one kicker that would like break down his videos on YouTube, and like I think they went at him for like monetizing his videos.
Yeah.
If you're just on the team, dude, you're going to school for free. You are going because if you're not getting drafted, right, you're gonna finish those 4 years. You just got
no debt.
You got $200,000, let's say, like you go to UCLA, right? Might be even more, 220, 230.
I mean, that's more than like basically any other college job is going to pay you.
Yeah. You're getting that for free. Also, there's a lot in place to make sure that with your demanding travel schedule for your games and your practices, whatever, there's a lot of systems in place to make sure that those kids don't fall behind, right? So you have all of these favors being put in place so that you can play a sport that you're not even going to go professional in. In my opinion, if you're that kid who's just going to play D1 sports, finish their college career, and hanging up my shoes, and I'm going to have some sort of life after college, that was your favor. You got to graduate with a degree.
I would agree with that if, like, they weren't making like $1 billion.
But the powers that be are going to try to monetize those young kids.
There's so many more players than like in the NFL.
But nobody's going to watch.
I'm saying, look, I'm not saying that they deserve like a big sum. I'm just saying, I gotta see some, dog.
So I think there needs to be a kickback to the university too.
A bigger stipend. Give them a bigger.
There's obviously certain things that should be put in place. Like if you're a third stringer and you only have a certain amount of playing time, like you're not going to receive what fucking the starter is going to receive, right? Yeah. Like if you never see there's stuff like that. So it's like, you could be a red shirt freshman. If you only play a certain amount of games, you don't qualify. So if you don't play, if you don't see a certain amount of time on the field, you're not going to qualify for that salary, say, because you're not playing as big as a role. Like obviously there's going to be like rules and regulations as to the people that are able to receive money. But I'm just saying, like, you have to give the players an opportunity in order to see something if you're making shit.
When was the last time that college basketball had a Zion, like, where there was this nuts from him coming out? Like, I don't remember the last time when there was a player that was coming out of college that fucking broke everything. Like, everybody was just going nuts.
Kemba Walker, maybe? No?
I don't even know.
Davis, maybe? I don't know. I mean, not quite up there. But
Zion was
the unibrow dude.
Zion, see, but I mean, like sometimes one guy could change it.
How crazy was it when he like rolled his ankle because that shoe broke?
The shoe just
How the fuck?
bro.
That was it Nike's stock that dropped like 13% that day?
That shit.
That's crazy.
That happened.
So fucking crazy.
Like, what was I about to say? Oh, it's crazy how like the coaches got shoe deals.
Dude, coaches make dumb money.
What are we talking
Yeah,
about?
coaches are like
I
usually
know,
the highest paid public employee.
Coach is sponsored by fucking Nike, dog. What
So
are we
hold on,
talking?
the coaches in college make fucking millions.
Makes so much.
Players don't get shit, but in the NBA, obviously coaches they get good, but the players are like way in the front.
Bro, college athletes weren't even eating, bro, until like 2 years ago. Starving. Like, they have to make
Somebody was just juicing that, honestly. Dude, if you look at college football games, it's fucking crazy. I remember when Leanna was out here and we were watching her school against, was it Hawaii? And the whole place where we're at, the BJs were at, there are people fucking killing each other for this shit, and the crowd was going nuts. And it's like, college football is unbelievably monetizable, in my opinion. Like, it is, they made $1 billion. It was 2016 to 2017. Just that whole year, $1 billion, dude. I mean, I give it. I see where Sean's coming from. If you're a bum, yeah, you get your school paid for. If you're a Zion, then you gotta get something.
Mm-hmm.
That's why sponsorships come in.
I agree with y'all are saying. I'm just saying, let that man see a little bit. Just a little.
John, what is your idea of what kind of sponsorship, like Nike deals?
Yeah, like
deals
Nike,
like
Under Armour.
Yeah, I mean that's the third party
like
coming in.
Gatorade, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, right? Like all those companies are essentially investing in those players, right? The expectation is that they are going to go on to play professional sports. So if they can get them signing on early, right? And now, right? Because the thing is, like, not only are these companies making money, but if they now have the opportunity to sponsor these athletes, they now have the opportunity to make more money, right? Because now they can create more opportunities from the fact that they have sponsored a college athlete, right? So it makes sense for the companies. It makes sense for the kids, right? Like, they are investing in somebody that they project to be playing one day in the NBA.
Also, I think it's crazy that, like, they can't, like, sell their autograph. Like, I think it's dumb when people sell their autographs, but, like, the fact that they can't do it is crazy.
That's people still do that?
Yeah, what?
Selling. Oh yeah, like
it's
autographs.
weird to do it like in the fitness community, but bro, athletes make a shit ton of money off of selling merchandise, like a shit ton. That's like,
I mean, if you had a ball Kobe signed, that shit's you're never gonna use that ball. You're just gonna
but I'm saying more so like, oh hey, like a kid came up to me and was like, hey, like sign this like picture of you, and you'd be like $5. Like, I think that's fucking dumb.
I would just sign it.
I'm playing on Fox Sports and y'all making so and so money off of commercials and ad deals and shit. Yo, I gotta, you know what I'm saying? Gotta see a little bit of that.
I think this is a good thing, and I think the athletes should definitely get more.
0.0002%, yo. I need a little something.
That's a big ass 2%.
Bro, like if you're playing on people are tuning in because they're watching the Heisman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, it doesn't make sense that the players literally can't get paid, but they monetize it every other way that they possibly can. Like, there's commercials that run during the game.
everything.
Like, when a TV show is on during that spot, they pay, like, a lot of money to have, commercials that run during that time. So it's fucked. It's weird, man.
But I totally agree, right? That there needs to be something new in place. There's a lot of flaws with the whole college athlete system. But we've had this conversation before in a previous video where we're talking about, sponsorships, for example, right? Like, you will never get what you're worth, right? And there's obviously ways
I just thought of something.
you can improve on that. But again, I'm still going to hold to my idea that the Zions are the exception of the exception of the exception to the rule, right? There's a ton of D1 guys who are just going to finish their 4 years and never play again, and you know what? They got a nice $200,000 of a 4-year.
I think the sponsorships from like big companies is good, but what happens when there's like a sports team where the players are getting all these scholarships, but their sport is literally not monetizable? So they are going to eat that cost for all of those players. They're literally going to eat that.
Why would a company sponsor, or why? Yeah, why would a company?
No, I'm talking about the college. I'm talking about the college, the university. You said that the players are going to pay. If you're not a Zion, you're going to get your college paid for and you're straight. If you're okay, that's your payment for playing fucking college football. But if you play fucking, I don't know, what like some random sport that you're getting a full ride for, the school's going to pay for your full ride, but they're not making that money from monetizing your sport. You see what I'm saying? So someone else is picking up the slack.
Yeah, that's why, like, I'm saying that they can't pay football players more, is because, like, then they have to, because of, like, the way Title IX works is they have to give, like, all the volleyball players the same amount as the football players.
I'm saying that needed. I mean, you know what? I'm gonna just fall back on that.
I was just looking at Russ. Russ is just like.
But that's the thing, though. Like those big sports feed the school, like feed a shit ton of things from school.
Like the University of Alabama is not even a school; it's a football stadium, and there's some desks around it.
Damn, that's true. The strength and conditioning coach makes millions. The strength and conditioning coach.
Really?
Yeah, he's the highest strength and conditioning coach in the nation.
And one of my, I remember one of my coaches from Pierce got into Berkeley as a football coach. So shit, fucking like I wonder what a skills coach gets or a DB's coach.
They get paid a amount, man.
It's crazy, man. If you get in a big ass college like that, I mean, shit, that's good for the resume for sure. You might be able to just hop around from school to school at that point. You guys got anything else?
That shit's not by merit at all. That is all who you know.
Yeah, it's really hard to like break through. I was gonna say, John, it appears that you are now with the Strength Cartel. Could you tell us more about that? I'm very curious.
Yes. So I was in SoCal for a couple weeks, and Big Boy slid my DMs. He's like, "Hey man, I see you're in town. Like huge fan. left with you." I was like, "All right, like I'm free this day." And so I ended up lifting and had a really good time. Ended up being like 800 deadlift. And he messaged me that night. He's like, "Hey, I want to like bring you on the team. Like, send me the contract." And I was like, "Oh, it pays pretty well." So signed with them.
Oh, so is you're actually gonna get paid to promote their stuff?
Yeah. Like I'm.
Oh, I thought it was just like, yo, like here's some clothes.
Oh no, like.
No, that's good.
I'm not doing stuff unless I get paid now.
Well, that's dope, man. I mean, shit, goddamn.
They got like a lot of people are pissed because so when I originally thought, I didn't know there was like beef, or like I don't know if there's really beef. It's just like Pitbull left, and now a lot of people are like, "Oh, like,
shit, I didn't even know about that."
Yeah, so like a lot of people are like, "Oh, you replaced like Pitbull with John." I'm like, well, like I mean, I don't know. I don't know what goes into it.
We gonna talk off camera, but oh shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like I honestly don't know the whole story, so I'm not gonna go into it.
I've gone to the Arnold with them on my plane like 5 times.
I think Big Boy just released a video kind of going into it, so you can watch that.
Interesting.
I think it's really funny because like I can't wait to like see a promotion like poster, and it's gonna be like all like.
Yo, your new name is Juan Haack.
Yeah, and then just like my like
Jonathan,
super pale farm boy from Wisconsin.
Bro, that
and I'm so excited for it.
That hype video.
No. I mean, I saw you in the black tank. That was cool.
Yeah. At least I got the tattoos to like. But I was like, when we were lifting, I'm like, God, I gotta like fill out my tattoos a little bit more now.
That hype video makes a lot more sense now. He was going in.
Yeah, I didn't like realize it until like the comments.
He was going in. I was like, God damn, like he's sending goddamn shots. He's like, it doesn't get any better than this. Literally. The best A181 in the world. The best. I was like, God damn, like shit. I didn't know that. I didn't know that Pitbull left. Yo, I followed Pitbull like 30 times, bro. I don't think he fuck with me.
Yeah, I still like Pitbull. Like, I don't think he has anything against me either. I don't know, maybe.
Nah, man, we out here chilling. I'm saying,
he liked the 800-pound deadlift video, so.
He what?
He liked the video of me deadlifting with them, so.
Hey, man,
I'm sure I'll see him at SoCal powerlifting.
Joey's the only one who lives in LA, so he can't say anything.
I know.
Good.
I'm cool, dude. I'm.
You gotta check in, low key.
They've been. I told you, I've gone. I see them at every expo when I go. I stopped going to expos because I literally don't care anymore. They're always. I'm cool, Chris. Chris knows me. I've talked to Chris many times, and you know, I think that's good. I mean, I am all for you getting paid. I'm absolutely for that, dude. That's lit. So, anybody that can take their like presence and like monetize it in a way, and like Big Boy is gonna relate to people like that, you know, maybe they feel comfortable with like what he puts out and his mannerisms and things like that, and he's gonna get those people that relate with him to like get into lifting and get into like just be more, just maybe they would have never thought about lifting had they not watched, you know, a Strain Cartel video. I think that's dope. I have literally nothing against that. I don't know why Sean said that.
No,
I remember we were like, when we found out, we were like, did they jump you in?
Anything. I was just saying because you hadn't said anything. I was like, damn.
No, I said that's good. Everything's good here, man. I've never heard, you know, there's a lot of people online that like you hear stuff through the grapevine and oh, this guy did this guy dirty and this and that, and I've never heard anything bad about you know, Big Boy or anything like that. So I mean, shit, I'm good.
Basically, Joey's saying I let my nuts hang.
No, I'm not. If John co-signs with them, then that means something to me. Put it like that.
Joey's just saying I don't gotta check in.
Dude, is that guy ever getting out? I think he gets out January. I'm curious what's gonna happen when he gets out. Is he gonna go back to rapping or is he just done?
Oh no. He's gonna be in witness protection.
Oh, Tekashi 6ix9ine?
That's crazy. That shit is crazy, dude.
I thought he was like supposed to begin life, and then it like became like a year.
They basically said like, if you telling everyone, we'll just drop everything.
That's crazy. He's gonna get his ass kicked then.
I mean, he's not gonna be roaming the streets of New York.
Hell no.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like he can't go back to rapping now. Or he can't be like in the limelight.
Because if anybody collaborates with him, they're automatically blacklisted. So, like, I'm pretty sure he's done.
He's done. He's big done.
He's a guy that I really want to hate, but Fifi kind of gets me hyped.
What the fuck? It's fucked up, man, because he was funny as shit. Like, he was just a great meme, and now he's just gotten all this fucking horrible shit. What happened with Mike? Oh, what's that?
You use 700 for 5 reps.
Those look like some fat bumpers.
Yeah.
Wait, John, what happened with Michael Hearn? He just decided to come through?
He was like gonna be there, and then Big Boy was like, "Hey, like try and come bench with us," and I got done with work early, and I was like, "All right, I'll come lift." I wasn't really like hyped for that, and then 500 moved super easy, and I was like, fuck it, throw 515 on. Just like missed it. Then I hit 512 later in the day.
That's crazy. I couldn't believe you did that.
What is that?
Yeah, well, I was lifting with like,
I
I was planning on just like squatting, and I was gonna squat with Neil, and she's like, "Oh, I don't like. It's my last heavy day. I don't want to be dealing with like taking your weights off, putting them back on, and everything like that." And I was like, "I'll handle it." And she's like, she was just like, "Oh, all right." But then I'm like, fuck it. I'll just work in with like.
Actually, now that I think about it, Sean's done that. He's gone in. I think he did deadlifts, and then he went home, and then he went back and he finished deadlift.
I did. So I had. There was one workout I did at school. Like I had class early, so I went and deadlifted before class. Pulled my single, hurt my back. Spent like the time after class trying to make it feel better, and then came back and pulled the single faster. And then this past winter, I tried pulling. I think it was like 700. 3 times, missed all 3 times, benched, and then pulled it again the 4th time.
Jesus. Did you warm up again? Or
Don't
did you
do
just
this,
like throw
kids.
700 on?
Don't do that.
Yeah, I warmed up again.
Don't do that.
Because so what I did was I I worked in with like Andy, Steven, and Nate, and they were benching. I got up to like 507 and moved like pretty decent. I was like, 512 would probably be a bit there. I'm like a little like tired. So they finished up benching, and like I waited around for like 15, 20 minutes. I'm like, fuck it, throw 512 on. And ended up hitting it.
Bro, fuck your bench, man. Goddamn.
If you get hurt, John, I'm gonna be very sad.
Why you gotta say that?
Yeah,
but I know
also,
that.
Speaking
but I
of
know,
getting hurt, are we doing the 40-yard dash
no.
in July?
I can't run.
I'm tearing a hammy for sure.
Yeah, you don't have to. I
I'm
just
not
want
doing
to
it.
battle the 83s.
Well, what happened is
100-yard dash.
I would tell them not to do it, and whichever one did it will probably have a shit day the next day, and then that's gonna
I
add
don't
up.
care about the next day.
Shit
Next
day
day is going to be a rest day.
I'm washed if I have a shit day after running a 40.
What?
Why?
Speaking of the battle of the 83s, we gotta at least mention the possibility of this, right? So I know, Russ, you said in your video, for those, I'm sure pretty much everyone at this point has seen it, that, next year with Worlds being in Belarus, which isn't in Russia, by the way.
It's like right outside of it.
Former Soviet Union.
I'm just busting your balls. So with Worlds being in Belarus, you're like, nah, I'm not going to do it with the situation that we've had. And, I kind of have similar sentiments about it. So, I feel like that would be a perfect opportunity for next summer for all three of us to find a meet and compete against each other. I don't know.
I'll just make a fake ID and show up to.
You guys are
Music
gonna
Hill
do
Run
this,
Apps.
and some unknown 83 is gonna like be there and like fucking be a problem, and then I'm gonna be like, damn, we shouldn't have fucking done that YOLO meet.
Joey, why do you think we're all gonna get like hurt all of a sudden?
No, I'm kidding. But what meet would John be able to do?
I mean, they could do a USPA meet.
We could do a USPA meet.
I mean, I'm gonna have to check.
I'm down. I'm always down with the concept. It's just like, how would this be executed?
Yeah.
Why don't you? I mean, you guys could just do a USAPL meet, and then me and John could just like fuck around.
We could do a USAPL meet. John gets tested, fails, and then gets a 4-year.
I literally was, like,
No.
I was like,
John
maybe
would
I'll
just
like,
be there.
Eat the failed test. It's not like I'm going back
Oh
anyway.
man, I meant John just hang out. John could just hang out. I don't know.
They'd probably just like stop me as I walk in, just like no.
No way.
John, are you? Wait,
Don't
John,
even.
you're gonna be here Saturday, right?
You're clean. You could compete. And it wouldn't.
I won't be at the meet Saturday. I'll be there Sunday.
All right, I'll see you then.
Yeah, so I will be.
I saw a guy who with your last name, and I was like, oh yeah, John's coming.
Yeah, I'm pulling to LA soon. I asked you guys what's
Are you?
Well, I'm not soon, but like.
Well, like next year, because that's like when I'm planning on moving there.
Where are you moving there?
No,
Yeah.
he just said he's coming. He's not moving.
No, I am. Like,
No, I know you. I mean, I know you are. Russ said he's just gonna come.
oh, I thought you said he's moving to LA.
No. Next month I'm pulling up like July.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll be there. Like, I think.
And then we're going to Japan.
I could potentially do end of July.
Wait, what? You talking about? What you talking about?
I said then we gotta go to Japan.
Hey, don't bullshit. I'm down. Yeah.
This conversation with Russ, I was like, you guys would not.
Dude, Russ, I'm gonna send you
fuck's
the.
in Japan?
They have Attack on Titan like a ride. It's like a literal like.
No.
It's one of those.
Hey,
Dude,
yo.
it's crazy.
Yo, don't bullshit me, yo. I'm down.
Okay.
Oh,
Tina was the one that brought it up.
So
yo.
I will be in LA. For work for the 22nd to the 26th of July. But I could probably like come early or later.
I'll try to aim to get there probably like the 14th.
So like the 20th will be my heaviest squat and bench day.
I really want to try to get there like around like the 15th or 16th.
Okay. Because I want to do my heavy day here, but if I have to, I would do it there.
You're gonna lift on the 40th.
I move out of here the 17th, back in New York, and then after that, I can do whatever.
I'll come through the week of the 22nd.
Look, man, Nationals in Chicago is gonna be lit, all right? It's gonna be fucking lit.
I'm pretty pumped for that actually, because that's like close for me, and I'll be able to
Hell yeah!
We'll be out
fuck
there
around.
like 2.
John's like, it'll be close. I'll just drive 8 hours. I'll be right there.
Then we can take
It's
pictures.
2 hours, but yes, that is the total like. That is the goddamn Midwest like mentality. Like, oh, it's not that far. I'll just drive 6 hours.
Across the country, it'll be like, yo, I'm going out to fucking Illinois. You need anything?
I'm gonna be out there for like 2 weeks, man.
Chicago or
What are you gonna do there for
LA?
2 weeks?
Chill. Catch a vibe.
Network?
Actually, no, I'm not 2 weeks. I'll be out there like for like the whole Raw Nationals, though, like the whole week. I
Oh,
normally
you're gonna be in Chicago? Oh, fuck yeah, man, come up.
This will be my first year where I can do that. So
Do you think you'll have a rental?
Maybe. Most likely, I'll probably have to get one if I'm staying out there for like a week or so.
Yeah,
I
come
mean,
up
Uber
to,
is like really good.
come up
But-
and work out in Baraboo.
Add up the cost of Uber, you might as well just rent it out car.
Oh, you talking about going to visit, John? You need a car for that.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. But like, I'm saying if you
Dude,
have
I
a
saw
car
a
already,
Tesla at an Enterprise.
damn,
How does that even work?
I don't know.
Like, there's no
You
gas.
have to return
so
it charged.
No, I mean, I think you'd be like, okay, you got 200 miles, just don't go over that, and you're good.
Bro, I'd drive to Phoenix from SoCal.
Yep.
It was like a 5-hour drive. But it was kind of fun because it was like super flat, and I had a Mustang GT for my rental, and I hit like 110 on that road.
Were you fucking tripping out while you were doing it, or?
No, I was not. That was the weekend. That was the weekend after.
John, don't be irresponsible.
It was a week off. Sorry.
Just tripping out on the flight back.
Do you have any? Did we cover everything, or
I think we got to everything.
my list?
Yo.
List.
Yo, Taylor, if you watching, come up,
man.
bro. We want you.
Oh shit!
83, what up? I let my nuts hang though.
Hold on. I just want to.
Let's not add that. I'm like super hungry. Like it's like almost 11:30 here.
Wait, is that getting cut?
What?
Keep that in.
Is that getting cut?
I was
No,
big.
we discussed this already. We're not.
No, I
cutting
just wanted to
anything.
say. If you look at Taylor's IPF formula, Sean, go ahead and pull that up. And you look at Russ's, right? And you look at how much more Russ totaled than Taylor. I don't understand this formula, how it blows my mind, how it's beneficial obviously for him to be lighter, but 43 keys is equivalent to
About his competition,
how many fucking pounds is that?
he completely annihilated his competition.
Joey,
Yeah,
I
that's the thing.
do at all. Like I'm not even close to agreeing with you.
No. I'm just saying if Taylor were to move up and try to beat Russ's IPF Wilk score, I mean his if Taylor were to move up and try to beat his 74 Wilk IPF score, do you not think that that's going to be like astronomically hard? That would
Not
be
right
crazy.
away. It would be
That'd be
hard,
dumb
like,
hard.
the
It'd
first
be like-
meet, but like eventually he could probably.
You'd have to total like 19 at 83 to fucking beat that. That's what I'm saying. So how are you? That's what I'm saying. Like it doesn't make sense to me to equivocate them. I don't even know if that's a word.
What did Taylor total?
790.5.
790 against Russ's 83.3, but
He's lighter, and the number of standard divs he is away from his competition is higher.
I feel like if I moved up a
So
weight
10
class, I
keys?
could put like 100
that's what I'm saying. Like
pounds or whatever on my total.
To assume if you were to, the thing is, right? Like it takes time to gain muscle and gain strength, right?
Yeah, it's not gonna have. You're
it'd
not
be a
gonna
long
hit that same
time,
level.
and
If you were to assume his how far he is away from the competition and his ability to like maintain that lean body mass, and you project out to what he would total.
No. I can tell you this right now. Taylor, if this makes you mad, I mean, I could have a smarter bodybuilder science guy tell you. I do not see Taylor putting on like 20 pounds of literal muscle in his lifetime. That is unless he got crazy fat.
He's not
Yeah,
good.
well, I also
It's
can't
not
put
happening.
On, like,
No,
I
listen,
also can't put on 300 pounds and be in
but that's not the
the
point.
same weight
Point-
class as Ray Williams.
point is that if you're the formula is meant to compare everybody, right? So if if you're comparing everybody, the way you have to think about it now is, right, okay, now I have Taylor with the same body comp, but as an 83.
That's not happening. He's not keeping the same body comp.
It doesn't matter.
You just brought it up. It's not happening.
Point
That's
is,
what I'm saying.
how competitive. Obviously, that's not going to happen because there are, you have to gain the size. But the point is, if you're comparing how competitive he is, right? Like the current state that he is at as a 74 is technically like more impressive than Russ's state as an 83. Like that's how the formula shakes out.
His state as an 83, correct? His state as an 83, as in like right now.
Okay.
If you look at the state of the weight class, sure.
Okay.
If you look at the state of the weight class, sure.
If Russ tried to go to 120 plus and compete against Ray, he'd be in a fucking wheelchair from being morbidly obese. But that's not the point of the formula. The point of the formula is comparing weight class.
I'm not disputing the formula, and I wasn't for the last 5 minutes. I am disputing like what do you think Russ's body fat percentage is compared to Taylor's right now? Would you say they're almost identical?
I'd probably bet Taylor's a tiny bit leaner.
A tiny bit, right?
Ooh, I thought Russ was
right. Hold on, let me close my fucking door.
No, man, Taylor's pretty lean. Like he's definitely pushing being that light at his size.
Okay, let's say Taylor's 10 and say Russ is 15, right? Let's just throw that out there.
He's about to get respected by you saying he's 15%.
I'm just letting y'all talk, man.
I mean, he could be 12. Russ could be 12, and that's worse for Taylor if he is. I'm just trying to create a situation here. All I'm saying is, like, I mean, staying lean. That doesn't necessarily.
Yeah, like he wouldn't be able to move up by Raw Nationals and hit one and like.
Yeah, put 80.
But maybe like a year or two down the road, yes, he could.
Yeah. So my whole thing is like, if you're Taylor, do you put on the extra 10 keys and just hit the 800 kg? I mean, that seems like be the first ever to hit that. You're so close. He probably had it. I mean,
yeah. No, he definitely did. Ben and Jason are smart. They always leave some in the tank, especially since he can.
I mean, you don't need it. I would like to see somebody like that have like 83s is a dogfight, and there's like hella threats. You know what I mean? So I think it would be great for him to move up, and I know you guys want it. I think that'd be great. It just depends. Is his work done there? Is his frame better suited as a 74 or an 83? I mean, just by looking at him, I mean, I think if he was better suited as an 83, he would have done it a long time ago.
That his dad said is that when he was at his heaviest, he was holding 195, 193 pretty well.
He probably was not nearly as lean as he is now. That's what I'm saying.
No, I mean, probably not, but.
Like, you mean to tell me he had 20 pounds of, like, solid muscle on him? You know what I mean? Like, more than that?
Like Priest. Shit.
I think right now he's, like, at his, his body's pretty comfortable. This is, like, a not too difficult of a weight for him to maintain.
Guys?
Huh?
What?
I think Russ froze.
Is Russ frozen? Fuck. Russ froze out on us and then ended up leaving the conversation. So we're going to end it here. I really like the conversation that we had tonight. It ended up going really smoothly. I feel like we just spent a lot of time having good organic conversations about the topics. If there's anything in particular that you guys would like to hear us talk about, let us know in the comments or let us know, I guess, on Instagram.
Slide in them DMs.
Slide in the DMs. Let us know.
John likes when people slide in the DMs.
But that's all. That is all for the 4th episode of the Four Horsemen podcast. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. And we miss Russ, but we're going to have to wish you guys a good night. So take care. Peace out.
See ya.